Shortly after Sonic's debut on the Sega Genesis, Sega followed up with a couple of 8-bit ports for the Master System and Game Gear. Today, we'll be looking at the Game Gear port of Sonic the Hedgehog. As the Game Gear screen isn't suitable for video capture, we'll be using the version found on Sonic Mega Collection Plus for the PlayStation 2. Sonic the Hedgehog for the Game Gear isn't really a port of the classic title, but a new game built from the ground up for the limited hardware. The premise of the game remains the same. Sonic sets off across South Island collecting Chaos Emeralds in an attempt to stop Eggman from his surely evil plans. While the game looks similar enough to the 16-bit adventure, you'll notice almost immediately that it doesn't feel the same. The momentum from walking to full run feels fine enough, but the jumping feels stiff and imprecise. The game gives you plenty of mid-air control, but feels sloppy and precise landings are tough, even after repeat playthroughs. The opening level feels very Sonic-like, traversing through a familiar-looking green hill zone, collecting rings and defeating similar-looking badniks. It honestly is almost exactly what one would expect from an 8-bit version of Sonic the Hedgehog. Each zone features 2 normal acts, and a third act featuring a showdown with Eggman himself. These third acts are short, don't offer any rings, and have laughably easy boss encounters. Generally, the classic Sonic series isn't known for great bosses, but these are just awful. Eggman's first incarnation can be defeated before he even launches an attack, if timed correctly, though this does take the sting off not having any available rings. From here, we are off to the creatively named Bridge Zone. Here, some precise platforming is needed to navigate some teeter-totters, moving platforms, and the collapsing bridges. I kind of like that Sega takes a departure from the Genesis game, and having unique levels gives a reason to actually revisit Sonic the Hedgehog in the first place. It is here we will stumble upon a Chaos Emerald. Instead of bonus stages, emeralds are actually hidden in the acts, with 1 per zone. If you're into exploring, this will be a welcome change. If you're into speedrunning, you'll ignore the emeralds altogether. There are still bonus stages, however. If you cross the end post with 50 rings, you'll be warped into said bonus stage. Here, you can collect rings to earn more lives, as well as monitors with continues in them. The spring physics actually work well, and bouncing around these areas is a lot of fun. Another creatively named zone follows, this time Jungle. This is another really strong level that introduces some vertical elements to the Sonic formula. I love the change of pace here, but the imprecise controls don't lend themselves to the tricky platforming. Still, good effort. Labyrinth Zone is next, complete with underwater segments. These might actually be my favorite acts in the game, with a good blend of vertical and horizontal elements and decent hazards. Unfortunately, the air bubbles are a bit glitchy, and I had a few tense moments wondering if the game was simply going to let Sonic drown. Scrap Brain Zone follows, and the quality of the game really starts to tumble. The second act is a maze of sorts, requiring you to press switches to unlock different areas. Unfortunately, every area looks and feels exactly the same. The icons letting you know which level you are on don't really help, and the level is confusing and tedious as a result. Skybase is equally annoying, and I didn't enjoy waiting around for the electrical fields to dissipate so I could make progress. The level design of most of the classic Sonic titles does taper off towards the end of their adventures, but I feel like it just nosedives here in Sonic the Hedgehog. The graphics and sound are also inconsistent, with some levels looking really great, and other levels looking rather plain and boring. The soundtrack is nothing to write home about either. The 8-bit renditions of classic tunes are solid, but others are mediocre 8-bit chip tunes that fail to impress. This kind of sums up Sonic the Hedgehog for the Game Gear. Many gamers love these 8-bit games, but I just find them incredibly underwhelming. There are far better 8-bit platformers available. The Mario Land series on the Game Boy immediately comes to mind. Overall, Sonic the Hedgehog is still a good game. There is enough variety with the levels and hazards to keep this an engaging experience through most of the adventure. The graphics still look decent, though the limited resolution of the Game Gear is definitely showing its age. I wish the experience was more polished, the controls a bit crisper, and the quality a bit more consistent. Still, at the end of the day, it's a fun game. 3 out of 5.